Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What up? This is Shan, and this is Cozy Womb Podcast. This is Ari. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, Anya.
Hi.
What up? What's up, y'all? This is Shan, and this is Cozy Womb Podcast, and this is just a sit-in. Raising emotionally healthy boys. Like, hello. If that's not a big elephant in the room in society, I don't know what is. Because I think boys turn into adults who turn into men, but in society today been treated as men depending on what color their skin is for a long time. And to have that battle be on our boys, no matter where they are at, on top of their feelings being completely ignored, their emotions being completely shunned to be put elsewhere because this is not the time, this is not the place. It needs to be addressed and it needs to be talked about, because we cannot keep this constant routine of having sons, supposed to be raising our sons, but what is it to raise a boy in society today when we completely tell them to stop crying, stop whining, stop being sad, be a man, grow up. Growing up, being a man has nothing to do with you completely telling them to not show emotion. You're basically making a individual feel like they don't have a right to be sad. They don't have a right to be angry. They don't have a right to say how they feel. They don't have a right to show how they feel. They have no place to put that emotion, and it just sits within them and is forced to turn into something else. Why? Like, why is that the case? People avoid allowing our boys to have an emotional place to be emotional. It's crazy. Like, we let our girls cry. We let our girls be sad. We let our girls go in the room and have a moment. We let our girls go in the bathroom and have another girl go in there and see what's wrong with them. But our boys, shut that up right now. No, we're not doing that. Wipe your face. Fix your face. Like, why is it that? I think because all our boys are growing up, and they want to show emotion, but for what reason are they shunned for it? Like, what's the reasoning behind why boys are told not to cry? Why are they told to hide their emotions? Some people might say, my son is too soft. What does that mean? There might be a bigger reason on why your son is upset, or why he's angry, or why he's crying right now. Like, even me as a woman, whenever I get really upset, whenever I get really angry, I'm not just angry inside. Like, there's tears falling down my face. Not because I want to cry, but because I'm just so angry that my body is reacting to cry. So sometimes all the time, there is an underlying reason that's been poked at constantly for a child to get so angry to the point that there's tears rolling down his face and he's crying. Someone has been poking at something on a consistent basis for them to get like that. They don't just get like that by themselves. It's something that's continuously not being addressed, that's making them get to that point. And we have to stop telling our boys they can't cry. We have to stop telling our boys to fix their face when they're upset or when they're angry or when they can't even tell you what they're feeling because no one ever asked them. That's not fair. Mind what you say around your sons. Mind what you do around your sons. Mind how you say things around your sons. Some parents come off like the worst people on the planet, all because of how they say something. And how you say something and what you mean can be two different things. So be mindful of how you say things around your sons. Be mindful of how you talk to women around your sons. Be mindful how you display signs of affection to other men around your son. Do you show affection to other men that you care about? Whether it's a friend, whether it's a cousin, whether it's a brother, whether it's a father. When was the last time you hugged your father? When was the last time you greeted a man that you did not know without using your mouth and using a gesture, whether it's a handshake or a pat on the back or a hug? Do you do that? All of that is healthy displays of affection that is going to help your son feel like, oh, this is a safe place. Or, oh, it's okay to do that. Or, oh, now I kind of catch a vibe as to who this person may be. Or if this person's an okay person to be around. Like all of that, eye contact. Do I look other men in the eyes when I talk to them? Does my son see me look other men in the eyes? Do I look down when other men are talking to me? All of that has to do with how comfortable your son is going to be with displaying his affection or talking about his emotion or expressing his emotion. But a lot of people don't do that, and we just shut them down. Sensitive sons are a challenge, okay. But what child isn't a challenge? As a parent, I feel like it's up to us. If we don't understand how to deal with a child that's, sensitive, super hyper, or angry all the time, it's up to us to figure out where we need to go to find someone that is an expert in that. What do I need to read to figure out how I can nurture my child to be a better individual because this is part of their personality? How can I create a healthy environment for my child whose personality is like this? As a parent, some of us, we're not doing the work. We're not doing the work as parents that needs to be done in order to figure out how we can help our children grow into healthy adults. And then they go out in this world and they're in relationships with people and they do not know how to emotionally express themselves in the healthy way. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to show affection. They don't know how to take affection shown to them. They don't know how to be compassionate to others. They don't know how to be good displays of affection to their kids. Have you ever seen an adult watch their child get hurt on the playground or somewhere and they don't even know, they're uncomfortable in what to do after that? They're completely awkward. All that boils down to is that child not seeing a parent or a caregiver show them proper displays of affection. They're emotionally lost as a grown adult and they have a child. We have to stop ignoring that. Hugging your child does not make him soft or girly or feminine. Stop thinking hugging your child is going to make him soft. Telling your son you love him isn't just for a game he won or after he gives you a Father's Day gift, you need to be telling your son that you love him on the daily. It doesn't have to be every 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be completely routine. Like, I've only been with one man who, anytime he talked to his mother or his sister and he was getting off the phone, he always told them that he loved them. I don't know any male in my family right now, whenever he gets off the phone with any family member, says, I love them every time. One of my brothers, I want to say my younger brother, who has all daughters, tells me that he loves me at the end of every conversation, whether we're on the phone or in text, and we're done. Out the blue. Like, my mother doesn't even tell me that she loves me when I get off the phone with her. It's just a bye. Or we don't say nothing, we just end the call. Like, what is that about? When it comes to your son and you're a male, whether you're the oldest brother or you're the father or you're the grandfather or the uncle, you need to be telling them at some point in the day that you love them. Sometimes even as an aunt, sometimes I'll randomly not say anything to my nephews throughout the day and just send them a text and tell them I love them. Because I feel like boys go through so much today and have so much pressure on them, and they're told to be men in every situation, that I don't want them ever to feel like they have to sit and wonder when the last time somebody told them that they loved them was. I don't want them ever to sit and feel like, does somebody out there love me? Does somebody out there remember me? Does somebody out there notice me? Does somebody out there want to know what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling right now? Don't let them sit out here in their minds feeling like they're by themselves. Teasing your son won't make him a man. My brother has one of my brothers have such a habit of teasing his sons about what they do and how they do it as like a level of affection or play. But at the same time, because every child is not the same and every child may not be as confident as you may think, they may take it personally when you're just joking, and you can't do that with a lot of kids. There's so much going on, and there's so many platforms of people you don't even know teasing you about what you look like, what you're wearing, what your hair looks like, where you come from, why your eyes look like that, why your feet look like that, why your nose look like that. There's so much of that where they don't need to come home and have their parents pick on them. They don't need to come home and have their siblings pick on them. When your kids come home to you, it should be a place for them to recharge. And recharge as get some good food to eat, get some, good knowledge to think about, get some good confidence about themselves, because their parents want to tell them what they do is so great and how proud they are. You're supposed to be that charge. That house is supposed to be that charge place for your kids, not that place where they have to come in and be told what they're doing wrong and pointed at and dictated all the time. That is not what a home is for. A home is supposed to be a safe place for everybody. Let them recharge on some goodness, not negativity. Don't come into the house arguing and yelling and shouting, and then they go to their rooms and they play a violent game and they listen to loud music about somebody else being angry, somebody else expressing their feelings that they got all stuck within them and they don't know how to express it. Don't do that. Don't let your home be that place for your child. Forcing your son to talk to girls won't make him a big shot, and it won't make him a man faster, and it won't make girls like him more. especially when he's emotionally lost. Girls, we are very emotional. So if you sending somebody to us to make them a man and they don't have no idea how to display proper, healthy ways of emotion, what are we supposed to do with them? What are we supposed to do with a boy who's supposed to be a man that doesn't know how to hug, doesn't know when to hug, doesn't know how to accept somebody telling them that they love them? They don't know what that means. They don't know what it is to have a woman work all day, come home and make them dinner, and they come home and they see it and they shrug at it. They don't know what happened in that communication right there that they just, they don't understand that was a time, a moment where my effort was given in order to make sure you had something to eat, despite the day I had, because I love you before I care for you. I made you something to eat. And they come in and they see it and they just shrug it off and they go watch a game or get some cereal or don't say shit. Like some grown men come into a household with, whether they're married or it's a girlfriend or it's a parent to that son that you got, and you don't say nothing to her. You don't hug her. You don't tell her that you missed her. And then they grow up and they're in a relationship and they don't do that to the person that they're with. We have to start being the better example. We have to start setting the bar high as to ways of expressing a good type of love, a good type of just affection towards one another. So our sons grow up better, well-rounded in society in order to deal with the things that are great and the things that aren't so great. Because they have enough people on the outside of your home treating them like they're nothing. We shouldn't be at home with our sons acting like their emotions are invisible, because it's not. So I just figure to make some points where it really matters and some things we should really focus on. I don't have any sons, but if I did have a son, this is what I would focus on. The first thing I would focus on is make sure boys know that they have a safe place to express their feelings, okay? Whether it's with you, whether it's with a mentor, whether it's with their father or their mom or a cousin that they really like, they need to know that there is a safe place for them to express their emotions. If they need to come home and just tell you everything right there at the door, let them do so. Do not interrupt them. Do not assume anything. Ask open questions, okay? The next thing you should do is balance the exposure they have to violence. Whether it's their environment where they live, poverty, traveling, I suggest you travel with your sons as much as you can so they can see that the whole world is not the same. Culture, I suggest you expose them to different cultures so they can understand every family has different personalities that they deal with. Every family have different values that they show to one another, and there's complete mountains of options of what you can do with your family. You don't have to be in one box of doing something a certain way. Expose your sons to different career options. You don't have to just grow up and play basketball. You don't have to grow up and just play football. You don't have to grow up and be this or be that. You have options out here. Expose them to that. And don't assume that their school will do that. You do it. Like, you show them how hard, you work in order to make sure they have clean clothes, food on the table, and show them that you actually enjoy the work that you do so they can figure out what it is that they enjoy so they can grow up and want to be men and provide for their families and do the same thing. Show them that. What else? Keep a consistent dialogue. I feel like parents need to talk to their sons more about everything on a mature level. Not shouting, not yelling, not dictating, not telling, just talk, open dialogue. I think parents need to watch documentaries with their sons more. And you need to watch different genres of things with their sons, whether it's a horror film, whether it's a sad film, a funny film, like all of that. You need to have a variety so your child knows how to be aware of their emotions, deal with their emotions, and combat certain emotions. You can't just sit there and watch funny stuff all the time. You can't just sit there and watch cartoons all the time. You can't just sit there and watch things that you are already interested in all the time. You can't do that. That is not going to create a well-rounded individual. Be able to explain what things may mean. Listen to music together. If your child is in a complete different generation and you don't understand it, ask them questions. Don't make them feel stupid. You wouldn't want to talk to anybody that made you feel stupid. Don't make your child feel stupid. Talk to them about things they watched, things they heard. Just the other day, was it today? I think it was yesterday. My 5-year-old asked me, she said, "Why do people say the N-word?" When I tell you that was a moment in the car, she said, "Why do people say the N-word?" And I explained to her why people may say the N-word, because I don't know all the reasons why people say the N-word. And she said, "When I grow up, can I say it?" And I was like, you know what? Society, music, television has made that word seem so tangible to everybody that even my 5-year-old wants to say it, and she just found out from me what it means. And I said, "Anya, why would you want to say that word?" And she said, "Because when I get bigger, I want to say it." And I said, "Well, hopefully when you get bigger, you don't want to say it, because it's not a nice word. It's a word to make other people feel bad or feel less than, or feel like they're not enough." And a lot of people say it as a greeting, as hello, but it should never be a word that you would say for a hello. And she said, "Oh, okay." But my job is to not hide that word from her, but keep consistently explaining that word to her, and explaining to her that it's not an okay word to use. But let me get back on track. But your kids are aware of everything. I think we should be a positive light. Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're an aunt, whether you're an uncle, whether you're a mom or a dad, you should be a positive light. Give your kids something to look forward to. Give your son something to look forward to. Be a guide to your son, not a sitter. Meaning, a lot of these young boys grow up into young men who are dependent on other people. Teach your sons to be independent. Not meaning that they need to do every single thing on earth by themselves, but make sure they can, if they needed to, do what they need to do for themselves by themselves. Learn to trust your sons. Learn to trust your sons. Because if you don't trust your son, don't look for the next person outside your home to trust your son. Learn to trust your son. What do you do with your son that shows that you are compassionate? Are you doing something that's showing that you're a compassionate person that your son can see? Do you feed the homeless? Do you hold doors for people you don't know? Do you help, older people carry their groceries? Do you offer your assistance even when you don't have to What do you show to your sons that shows that you're a compassionate person? So they can be compassionate. You have to be the example. Number 6. Don't assume what your son did. Ask. A lot of kids don't talk to their parents. A lot of boys don't talk to their parents because they feel like you're going to judge them before they explain to you what happened. So always ask in an unjudgy way. Ask unjudgy questions. Depending on their answer, then you can move to the next thing that you want to ask. Build their confidence. A lot of kids out here are struggling, and you think that they're soft because you never spent the time to build their confidence. Build your child's confidence. Talk about what they're great at. Talk about what they should improve from a positive perspective. Encourage them. Check in on them daily. Don't just let them come in, throw you away, say hi, ask them one question, and have them be in their room for hours. Turn around, it's 9 o'clock. You probably didn't have no time to cook dinner, so you made a pizza. You said it was in the kitchen. Then your kid takes that pizza, eats it, gets a drink, goes back in their room, takes a shower, brushes their teeth, go to sleep. By the time they get up, you already left for work. So who's raising your kid? You're not raising your kid. Society's raising your kid. Because when that kid leaves the house that you put money into, make sure they have clean clothes, you have no emotional communication connection with your son, and society is raising that kid. The school, whatever they're teaching them or not teaching them, is raising your kid. Their friends are raising your kid. They're going to come home and y'all going to be on that constant rotation of nothingness constantly because you're not having an open dialogue with your son. You have no emotional connection with your son. You're letting society raise your son. Stop it. Stop it. On the weekend, if you go on to work, take your son to work with you. If you can, take them with you. If you can't, make sure they have something productive outside the house to do on the weekend. On Sunday, if you off, go do something with your son. Go do something with your son. All right? I'm sorry. This was just a sit-in. It ran a little bit too long, but I'm just tired of our boys being ignored. And I feel like if our boys stop being ignored as boys, they will grow up to be better men. And society, we need better men out here, and enough emotional neglecting for our boys. Enough, because as a woman, I would love to be in a relationship with somebody, a man who was emotionally healthy within himself in order to support me and to support a family. But there's a lot of men out here who do not have the proper emotional intelligence and know-how because they weren't given that. And if you can help the future of your child and he's a boy, allow him to express his emotion in the right way. That's all I'm saying. My name is Shan. I'm out. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Good night, good night, good night, good night.